agus fáilte von Comann Mhuile is gan cruinneadh Bhliadhnail acinn Bhliadhne. Mull and Iona sonna bhí còmhdhail. An Bhliadhne ha crúna cruinneadh digitach acinn, carthannasan bhí crúna cruinneadh abisteach acinn. Le mescathug sin dá chuid luchciúil as is cíadach acinn hain, agus luchciúil a áiticin eile ghiltach agus na héileann. Gai suíochan, líanamh glunne agus leici lein bígan ciúil a thuirstúgah.
Fáilte chríaladh de còmhdhail Bhliadhnail Comann Mhuile agus dá bhíle fichiad agus a gá. Chaine sin is chorm cheangal Idhe an Bhliadhne, ach sinne a ha dóid go bhfuil a còmhdhail leaine seo acinn. Ba bhfuilm taic mhór a thuirst don nach ciúil, don nach sein agus don nach cáirí feat a ha acinn a còmhdhail an Bhliadhne. Ba bhfuilm taic mhór a thuirst de Ross Wilson a Còmhdhail as Rossbhúlach san rutain na chuirtí chéile, agus ba bhfuilm taic mhór a thuirst guibhise ha san níosteach san taic a chumail ríise Comann I ríist an Bhliadhne. Ha mi dochas gan cóst a roingthe seo a hacinn dibh. Taic mhór.
Mull and Iona son siad Alistair. Han tau maun clointí mhór pípere na Bhliadhne, Peter McGanusha Ilan E.
Hi folks, Peter McInnes here. Just going to play a couple of tunes for the virtual gathering. It's a real shame that we can't be together, obviously, but keep our fingers crossed for next year. So, a couple of family favourites that we would normally play at the gathering. So, I See Mull and Castle Dangerous. Okay, here goes.
Nist son eungin a luciúil eile a ha tuil or na noch. Allo chabad, féad a ha mór an súil ceol na halape, Ian McVeister.
Mo hiúr bheith gabi, ha mín dúd I còmhradh, gútí de cruimhhaine sinneoir. Go thrí an tabharúachas na naith an gynmhúachal far an trí cymérú aig an tóir. Behius gyda hain nerius on yn srahan, Ani mis y chlech mis mi ok. Ac fi gyd o'ch gan stwch yn lemogwn yn achdiwl tach far yn god yn trian fian yn sygio. Mo hiwd y fygiawi, ha mi'n dod I còmharrachadh, Gwtid y chreifanius yn iower. Gyfri am dafrwchys nynau yn gynwachel far yn trig, Chymyrw ai gydyn tower. Saor ac ni'n iawn waith becyn tiwn y chog iawn draen strich gydawach Mhuile tŵntach gyliower. Sgynrain hwgo tiawch còmhradh y fading sben tawn chofi'n cadw tranion. Mo hiwd y fygiawi ha mi'n dod I còmharrachadh, Gwtid y chreifanius yn iower. Gyfri am dafrwchys nynau yn gynwachel far yn trig, Cymyrw ai gydyn tower. Getig ac yn gael yn leisian agus frasan, Yw'n gian agus fasgych gyliower. An nhw ac yn laniaw hannym ffas agus dyr far yn trig, Cymyrw ai gyrffe'r groc. Mo hiwd y fygiawi ha mi'n dod I còmhharrachadh, Gwtid y chreifanius yn iower. Gyfri am dafrwchys nynau yn gynwachel far yn trig, Cymyrw ai gydyn tower.
Hasin yn ddys y dolwgain porsio ga y focsa a ertsi mach gecharne. Chlyg ertsi sa cholain dawnsi virtual a facin yn ddyri. Sawl na Mhuile a fa cheolwch fo hws agus bafysgaif na batich yn y rwy gy ilan I. As je een niste dolle glointje voor kutjeken en ranjigjes toe, maar wist toe school baddas ik lochaling getricht. Zo akkev, heder niet geleguin, le oren a hurst. Ha vroeg voordag ik waardig big aan een lochaling. De teien van een jag fjouwing in a hurstig nu de wa achgeri hurst akal.
Boom kas graun, boom kas jedig, boom gak mises kipesoan. So small bon, no small ripa, cholam hischen goksa chon, na jone jean, kloinem en kjol. Boraun, 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 becherach, boraun, ruja glier en banje goed. Kalin du kier du pose gro, na jone jean, kloinem en kjol. Boeig is gantje, han je na goekachen, han niks na jan, bare kutjeru, na le shem o goed aan boegil, bakragem bat de snach boeljuk, kalin du kier du pose gro. Boraun, 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 becherach, boraun, ruja glier en banje goed. Kalin du kier du pose gro, na jane jean, kloinem en kjol. Stumo boren, stumo lammen, hoekoes gaan voelen Mhuile. Metalhus, malvoers, nog jaleker, hoekoen jegan soes en garabel, kalin du kier du pose gro. Boraun, 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 becherach, boraun, ruja vlier en banje goed. Kalin du kier du pose gro, na jane jean, kloinem en kjol. Stumos moeren, stumos mjaren, smochruid hjulse wat in weich. Stumoch akker, stumoch jarapen, hukum butch, agan sukun gavrek, kalin du kier du pose gro. Boraun, 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 becherach, boraun, ruja vlier en banje goed. Kalin du kier du pose gro, na jane jean, kloinem en kjol.
Tíirech álainn heather. Oren cherir a hacin inis le buig de chosirgalach Ilan Bhuilich. An sa cherir ha Elizabeth agus Alan Jack, Vic Linneman agus stúdiche úr na cóisiid Donna Dugdale.
Famin Jim ben dorains na chol charomi en ionadach, huna mi na glauntan snabiam tichen a benjugo, veshin en shalagivin, litimach kemas leftchen, Ist banamok jingu balumi, and dushke blan sam fare, Bhliadhnail ionadach,
Aber fuam bria araina al an English parishte hopper vore. Ma the hiu voga an nuske hasin an nuske de vartashe go ilan son capatich le fed of a uer na chaddiche crunnechuch Bhliadhnail a Comann, agus ha taic chumail dis a Comann fat Bhliadhnail in Mhuile, Meister Davy Kirkpatrick.
I'm Davy Kirkpatrick from the island of Iona, and we're sitting in Iona's new beautiful hall, and the Mull and Iona Association gave donation towards the rebuilding of this fantastic place. Well, I've been here all my life, 70 odd years. I was thinking about this the other day, and I used to spend my time in Oban High School drawing boats, and I discovered that our son David did exactly the same thing, which is a wee bit strange. But I was always this draw to the sea, so I spent my life fishing for quite a long time, and then the last 20 odd years running folk out to see an-asgaidh and Stafford. Boats has always been there or thereabouts. My grandfather started fishing, and then the war came and that jiggered it up for my father, and there was no money to be made when he came back from the war at the fishing. So he started working at the rebuilding of the abbey. And then when I left school, I went to the fishing in a wee boat, and eventually Bobo and I managed to build the Silver Spray at the same time as the Gimach built the Aquila in Tabhartas, and worked that for a long time. And then Uncle Davy, my uncle, my namesake, he was retiring from the Stafford trips. And I'd always said when I went on to the Silver Spray, I would come off her when I was 45. Never thinking that would really happen, but anyway, that's what I always said. And I think a lot of folk thought that was not very true. But anyway, I did come off at 45, and I went on to the Idhe, and Davy went on to the Silver Spray. Music-wise, our grandfather came as a headmaster to Iona School, and seemingly he was the first person to teach music on Iona. And you can see that today with Charlie. and Alistair White, Stornoway, Neil Kirkpatrick and Islay, all music. But it jumped over some of us, and I was one of the ones that it jumped over. It doesn't work for me at all. The first I heard of the Mull and Iona was Cammy Cameron and Charlie McPhail. And Cammy Cameron is Freena McDougall's uncle, and Charlie McPhail was the post office in Iona. And they were going away down to the Mull and Iona in January. It used to be in January. And Jimmy Beaton, again, some of your folk will know, he came over to look after Tremor for Cammy in 1947. So that was those boys heading down for the Mull and Iona just after the Second World War, I suppose. And that was the first that I heard of it. And then, I suppose once we got a wee bit older, then some of us started travelling down to it. And by that time, St Andrews Hall had been burnt down, and it was in Govan Town Hall. And we used to stay in the Highlanders Institute, and there was a fellow, McVicker, who was the manager of it at that time. Ian Dougal and I used to go down to it. The year that the roofs came off Glasgow, 1960s, somewhere around about there, the mail used to leave Glasgow at 1 o'clock in the morning for Oban, and that's what they called the mail train. And I was at the Mull and Iona in Govan Town Hall, and I got onto the train at 1 o'clock in the morning, and of course the gale struck, and this train got stopped at Craigendoran, right alongside the sea wall, and the waves were going right over the carriages that night, and that's how I spent the night after the Mull and Iona. But the other thing I remember about the Mull and Iona, maybe more than the artists that were performing, was you always had to find a girl with a big handbag, because that was essential to get the half bottle into the hall. Dance, it'd be Fergie, Lex Keith maybe, folk like that. And Fergie was just coming out into his own at that round about that time as well. And you would either get him at the Mull and Iona or in the Highlanders. But it was always a good gathering to meet people you haven't seen for years. You know, I can just think of Dougie Sheehan for one, coming up from Còmhdhail for it. You know, things like that, you know. And then, of course, it moved to the Piping Centre, and that was really good then. I remember one night getting home from the Piping Centre, and we were staying in the Holiday Inn, you know, just down the road. And Joni and John Mackay were staying there. And in the early hours of the morning, the fire alarm went off. So we just kind of carried on the Cayley out, and Joni in her night dress out in the middle of the pavement. So we enjoyed going to them, because we were always heading down to Stranraer at that time of year, because that's Carol's home country, and it was good to stop off and see the clan, either on the way down or on the way back again. It's good it's still keeping going. I think that's, you know, everything is changing. But I think, well, just what we're doing just now, for example, it's amazing. But it's still, you've still got those connections. I think it's good.
Tápaléimh son na nuine a gáil gus bríon rain na gaidí. Tá sin na ráis le an Gaelic fu sé a chosin belnáda Comann Gaelach an nuí a an scafbain na herig, seo agah manich clouch.
Tjeetje mag het goor slam me galach na Mhuile. Tjeetje mag het goor slam en Tjeetje mag het goor slam en niet ik wou je Còmhdhail. Geen brat aan kamans te vee. Tjeetje le melianig zijn papan gamalieg. Tjeetje le melianig en Tjeetje le melianig zijn papan gamalieg. Stodder we gagniadi en Tjeetje mag het goor slam me galach na Mhuile. Tjeetje mag het goor slam en Tjeetje mag het goor slam en niet ik wou je Còmhdhail. Geen brat aan kamans te vee. Tjeetje le me garnal kusum fashin banak. Tjeetje le me garnal en Tjeetje le me garnal agus yn fai sy'n banach, ond mamach gyfa'n iawn yn je. Je mach eith chwars lym y chalach yn y bwyle, je mach eith chwars lym yn chej. Je mach eith chwars lym yn un ac fwy o chwndach, còmhrad yn Comann na fe. A daher ystofahir y chalach wycholyn, a dylig gragoch yn hen. Son ayat sy'n sionoch y chalach fych fwyoch, gai sy'n yn tor a leil. Je mach eith chwars lym y chalach yn y bwyle, je mach eith chwars lym yn chej. Je mach eith chwars lym yn un ac fwy o chwndach, còmhrad yn Comann na fe. Je mach eith chwars lym y chalach yn y bwyle, je mach eith chwars lym yn chej. Je mach eith chwars lym yn un ac fwy o chwndach, còmhrad yn Comann na fe.
Díreach míormhaíoch Emma. Han thau maun yn draw macad de chur sias agus de bhrac yn ngawn siach yr orst, sio sete eile le ertri mach gecharne ir a voksa. Iuch! Asgo a chaper yn isht, le oren a idhe sio acaf ian mach cfaistir yr isht.
Idhe fade horo yavi, idhe fade horo ele, idhe fade horo yavi, boaingerani. Tyflochidge, Gambi Cynnia Cymru Maryn, Mare hached miri metal, Marachadh miri mali buidhnean tuach Idhe Idhe faodar yavi Idhe faodar Mhuile Idhe faodar yavi buidhnean tuach Idhe helm mi nu an tuvevai chud mi falchores evierwe Brigeri le gruaim zegalig per duchanan spik mos besher Idhe faodar yavi Idhe faodar Mhuile Idhe faodar yavi buidhnean tuach Idhe Evalin còmhdhail Shomoaf nach Idhe bitgucht Warne voiach huer mi marach Serech alik mi cheangal Idhe faodar yavi Idhe faodar Mhuile Idhe faodar yavi buidhnean tuach Idhe Mull and Iona varich Shain le karam smi ganishjuk Saun an shin huer min giawach Vo mochalach tuach Idhe Idhe faodar yavi Idhe faodar Mhuile Idhe faodar yavi buidhnean tuach Idhe
Ha Comann Mhuile is taic chumail rí cálan pípa Mhuile is fo ata inist. Agus mar a tór buidhnean éiles an scíadach gacin, còmhailte rí cheangal, ceòl agus na chealainn. Ha the nuaire rí tabhartasan agus immerstan gus ericad do hócail gus còmhradh. Ma chórstas cuireann na haichan nach greibh, cuireamh tabhartas bécúcain in seo ag a chumain. Is liggi sin lein taic chumail rí immerstan ionadach, lehéit an cálan pípa. Chais na rás go na tasclanan sanna fí seo. Seo agah cálan pípa Mhuile is thuhastá bailachan caistil ghuairst. Leila nicht fadje na hakin nicht, let dan asgaidh a sin shenner.
Hallo, is me Leila. Is am een nestal leeg arish is schreef me hennever leis an tinnem Mulle and Iona. Mulle and Iona. O berin tori shawnish oam, smi fatte oat charquant and more. Gur trich mi brut ar sminam hoain elain oain fuer ben more. Gur trich kin kyo snav mun chruich is trich ge groain shile yor. Snur hiken saor is shave mun korst vi driach is nu gorst mar begor. Geneig mi mulach nan biaun voor, schachoin mi foam nan alten moor. She aster coin is garif hon oan, jag mi vo groaim gun oal gun ho. Ger at the hall and cheatin and biaun, and cheana glions and romy tav. Han chelling oan le mashes snoach, na laia huesri uchkantal. I'm now going to read the version that was adapted into English. Mull of the High Bens. Farewell, dear isle, though far from thee, o'er wide-rolling seas I've wandered. In my dreams I often see the green isle of towering mountains. Oft the mist creeps round the ben, and oft thy streams are raging. But winter's shroud forsakes thy glens as summer warmth approaches. No more I'll see the hills and bens, or thy torrents fast descending. Far o'er the seas in distant lands I abide in exile. Far o'er the seas in western clime, where the winds and glens are sighing. My native isle still there reclines on the ocean's bosom lying. Thank you.
Nach Roshen Sorichtje. Adashke skalpai son Bhliadhnail a emanich cloch. Shuet Emma.
Irfalelelo, nach is jullie morgens nach te comharrachadh, maar er nu mof jalig, oi kernul van, o leanas nach keinig huaren neva, shin chilek hele, am vaske knoch falsch. Ars misje do fokken, sta frieren maar hier. Hoekers kiehen mi vares, at zwik dur im hev. Irfalelelo, 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 irfalelelo. Nach is jullie morgens nach te comharrachadh, maar er nu mof jalig, oi kernul van. Wel keine knebodje ne hoekschien lechin, skunaking Marianisch, ach reelten en speed. Kunde jou begon noorsjen, gofat zich tu pjo. Na ga ik tu geimi, zonder ik het nooit. Irfalelelo, 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 irfalelelo. Nach is jullie morgens nach te comharrachadh, maar er nu mof jalig, oi kernul van. Ga bij me goed zitten, is dat wie zonne gebracht. Wanneer is je mag hier, schuurt je naar match. Nish gavi min tlie na menere grach. mo and marsh. It fall a low, it fall a low, it fall a low, it fall a low. Nach is you the morans nach te comharrachadh, maar rein you mo Mhuile, oi gernul schwan.
Siadagah díos fó cóisir gaelic Ilan Mhuile. Donna a chomhdha sin na butraia agus Natalie Livingston a sé cóla go bín, má hain. Mae statw rief an byniesan san pasgan crisp nio pinch banye byw iolwch i'r yna y hacking.
My name's Glenn McKellar and I'm in Benesson in the Isle of Mull, and myself and my wife Jessie, she was Jessie Campbell at one time, and we ran the Spar grocers in Benesson and with a craft shop as well. Well, I've been in Mull 60 years. Yes, 60. I came in 1960 to put an extension onto Pennygail School, and that we came in the old looking var. But Mull and Iona, it means so much. I class it as the real home. With growing up in a rural area, you took to it here, and I worked over all the islands from Benbecula right down to Idhe, and I said Mull came out on top. When I think back here in Benesson, the dances were out of this world. You couldn't go, you would sometimes 3 times a week there was a dance, and the bands were fantastic. And the thing about I was taught how to dance when I was younger, and coming here and finding girls that could really dance was excellent. And when I think of the bands, there used to be Angus Campbell and Angus and Alistair Lamont, or he used to play with Robin McKinnon used to play. They were terrific dances. And then on the island, the bands that they had there in these days, Callie Alistair Mackenzie, Bobby MacLeod, George McCartney, they used to play drums, Peabrach. As the days were wonderful dances. When I was on Mull, it was near Christmas, and I told somebody, I said, I was at 12 dances in 14 days. The only 2 days I wasn't at a dance was a Sunday. But I said all over the island, and I love dancing. I grew up to that because I actually came from Minnard on Lough. I left school and I went to Greenock, supposed to do engineering. I said I was with John G. Kincaid's in Greenock, but I only lasted there till I was 16. I was on a pay apprentice and I got a job with Carmichael and worked all over the islands, and I just loved it. But Mull, I just loved Mull right from the very start. When I was younger, it was fantastic. The people you met, I know that the first time I came in, I was in Tobermory, and I met Willie Mann, and he said to me, Glenn, you've got to come and hear this man. He's opening a coffee evening, and he's up in the Irish Hall, and it was Angus Mack to the back. I never heard a raconteur like it. It was absolutely brilliant. And I still think of all the people, they give that lasting impression you get. Definitely grew up in the best time there was on Mull. I've seen tremendous changes, right enough. Well, the first time when I was on Mull and I first heard of the Mull and Iona Garing, I was at dances here and I was in the hall and Jessie was there and I knew she was a good dancer, and we used to dance when I come down. I was staying in Pennygail, Colunic, and come down to the dances, and when I said I was going away, I said, did you never go to the mainland? Oh yes, she says, I've got a sister who's nursing in Glasgow, another sister who's a secretary, and she says, I go to the Mull and Iona. You should come because you like dancing. And this was like the June I'd left, but end of the year, I was at home and I said to my brother, do you know that Mull and Iona dance is on? I think we'll just go through. I said, you never know who I might meet. And when I got to the dance, who was here but Jessie and her sisters and my brother. And as we'd have it, I was fortunate in my young days to have a new car, and I offered to run them home. And it wasn't until years later, Jessie said to me, you know that night in the Mull and Iona, and you took us home? I said, yes. She says, well, Lexi come up and says to me, whatever you do, if he offers to take you home, say yes. It'll save us a fare or a taxi. I said, and that's the rest's history. And I think, I remember that the first Mull and Iona I went to, it was in Ellenbank Street. I remember that. And I think there was another night, they had one in the St Andrews Halls. I know that I think my memory just slips me a wee bit there. Well, before the interview, like Jessie kept, she's got boxes, she's got thousands of photographs. I'm picking stuff up right back to 1929 that she's saved and such. And when they asked if I would come and say a few words here, I put a hand into one of them, and believe it or not, and it's a God's truth, my hand brought out this, it's 1981 Mull and Iona. But I wonder why this one was there, and I find out when I look inside it, it's Andy Campbell's band. So that was 1981. But Jessie, always the Mull and Iona. And it's just wonderful. And it's nice to see that it's bouncing back. The youngsters are now coming into it, and that's what we need.
Mór an Thanglain agus tapa leibh go mór son cúteach thar na blianachin. Seo níon ach innetallanist, éilínich gay le ádan a tidach, a lesci cháig as ceanalta.
A lesci cháig as ceanalta, stulanen an jis gruachig, comharrachadh sa bhaise their monwagsa hayaw ham lenansa ha an-asgaidh namlagarichag magfal an ledain dwali. Jölim fatam gynnjallet longs a hwydach swasri o fat sa chwren gyshin garswtach o charwantan. Jölim fatallet o fat sa nilanwanya and snai machwer na fuoslog. A lesci goig as ceanalta, stulanen an jis gruachig, dogulare mocharrachadh sa bhaise their monwagsa.
Nach chaile má talent mar sin éicinn a duine ách a Mhuile is í. An úl hada siad an nusgéirí sgúla chalinn son áran eile fó heather nich gile gain.
O Janach is toga faun, mochria tram mania, smi fato ilan and avdan, svohir nan glans nan galan. O Snan rhain chymtydd na mara, Salwch Mhuile yn jwbysgyn, San taj fo chyr I chasin, Gwr trwy'r galig fi'n y cas, On Bhliadhnail y faci, Idhe loig a ionadach, O tachartas tabhartas, O cheangal is Mhuile tron faodar, an-asgaidh,
Cwyddi sy'n criach an chydda macin an sy'n doi tradisiynta. Ar pípere, Peter mac an is an orsyn an tilan mwlach is sorry live. Hasyn yn dochus gan bysio fy siain còmhdhail gebe fara vilsif. Hashin a géirí mór an taingada go gach a bhacin in noch. Hashin an dochas go bhí sin ula adáis an gwas chuúb cóla an 2023 son ar crúneach Bhliadhnail is ar damsa a ríist. Chuna sin, sorry live is Idhe.